In 1970, Dorothy Dehner admitted disappointment after an unsuccessful exhibition of her work in New York City. She wrote to a friend, "I am desolated about my show. Nothing new except another small sculpture. It just isn't my year. I wonder if I'm going out of the sculpture business." Lucky for us, Dehner's self-doubt didn't last. With the determinacy that defined her adventurous life, Dehner continued to make sculpture into her old age. Sanctum with Window 2, at the entrance to the Hyde Collection, is a valuable example of Dehner's persistent efforts. With her eyesight nearly entirely lost, she completed the work in 1991 with the help of a fabricator when she was 90 years old. I love the placement of this sculpture, the way its basic geometric shapes harmonize with the museum's architecture. It almost looks like the silhouette of an industrial skyline. And if we consider Dehner's title, Sanctum with Window, we recognize she was very much thinking about architecture when she built this piece, and particularly about modern architecture. The sculpture was designed in an avant-garde style known as constructivism, a movement popularized in Russia in the early 20th century. It utilized basic geometric shapes, like the rectangles and circles seen here, to create abstract works of art that celebrated engineering and industrialization. As you walk around the sculpture, notice Dehner's use of painted aluminum, as opposed to materials more readily associated with classical sculpture, like marble or bronze. The material, and its matte black surface, is a deliberate reference to constructivism's new industrial language. Dehner first encountered constructivism during her European travels in the 1930s. In the subsequent years, she explored the style in painting, drawing, and sculpture, splitting her time between New York City and Bolton Landing, where she lived for 25 years with her partner and fellow sculptor David Smith. It wasn't until the last decade of her life that Dehner used constructivist principles on the monumental scale we see here, thereby achieving her lifelong goal of making large-scale sculpture. Today, Dehner is considered by many a pioneer of American abstract sculpture, and we're thankful she didn't, quote, get out of the sculpture business.